welcome to another edition of The Buzz. Earlier this week, I caught up with new Senior Vice President of Racing Operations, Martin Panza, to see how he was liking his new job here at NYRA. All right, Marty, after 2 decades of racing on the West Coast, now coming here to New York where weather can be challenging, what are some of the challenges you face currently in racing in New York?
Well, certainly it's different being on the East Coast than the West Coast. We don't have to worry about the weather out west. So that's something I'm going to have to learn to deal with here. Certainly, we probably don't run into problems of taking races off the grass and such. And so, obviously, in the wintertime with no turf racing at Aqueduct, we don't worry about that. But there are differences from the East Coast and West Coast, and it'll take some time to get used to it for me.
Well, as racing secretary at Hollywood for quite a while, you introduced some pretty innovative things, such as the first guaranteed pick 6. What are some immediate goals that you're hoping to bring here to NYRA?
Well, I think we're going to look at the stake schedules and just try to create bigger days or larger events. And certainly there's a lot of resources in New York with tracks having 2 turf courses, which is something we didn't have in California. So I can't wait to sort of play with that. And then certainly with the VLT money, there's a lot of purse money here. And we'll look to just enhance our big days, make maybe Belmont Day bigger, maybe create some new big event days, and just sort of grow the business that way.
Well, Marty, you've had experience with synthetic tracks, and there has been some talk here in New York and installing a synthetic track into the inner track to kind of avoid those cancellation days. What are your thoughts on doing that?
Right. We've had a synthetic track out at Hollywood Park for, I think, 9 years now, and then obviously Del Mar has one. So Southern California went synthetic 9-10 years ago, and I'm a big believer in them. I think that they're very kind to the horses. In California and Los Angeles, we're basically in a desert. They're built for this type of climate on the East Coast, and especially up at a higher area such as New York, where we've had some cancellations, and I've sat here and said, if we had the synthetic, we probably wouldn't have canceled today. So I think probably long term, it's something that we need to look into. But I think there's also a need for, if we have it, there's a synthetic season. And that's it. After that season's over, we button it up for the rest of the year. And certainly, they're made for bad weather, and they're made for rainy seasons. Now, if it's snowing and freezing, there's nothing in the world that's going to, be able to withhold freezing temperatures. But for rainy weather, I think they work well, and I think they're very kind to horses. The safety element, I think, we certainly had less fatalities when we put them in. So I think it's a positive thing, and it's something we need to look at down the road.
Well, as it's 7 months away, but everybody around here starts counting down the days to Saratoga, and this will be your first one in 2014. Is there anything on the horizon that you can kind of share with us for Saratoga next year?
I'm going to put my Del Mar shirt on during Saratoga. No, I'm looking forward to Saratoga. I mean, certainly there's tremendous history there. The first year for me, I don't think I'm going to touch a whole lot there. It's a wonderful place. The racing is fabulous. We might tinker a little bit with the stake schedule, maybe try to create one more big day up there besides Travers Day. And like I said, I sort of joked about it, but it'll be interesting to see the differences between Del Mar and Saratoga, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, you will enjoy it, that's for sure. Marty, thank you for your time.